talking about Gargoyles, Detective Broadway, The Silver Falcon, starring Broadway. So on the side here we have Neca Gargoyles. On the back we have Broadway in his trench coat as the Detective Broadway, and we have all the figures in the lineup. Collect them all. So on the side here we have Broadway, and when we open it up we have Broadway here. On the bottom here we have the UPC code, and on the top, Gargoyles, Detective Broadway. So let's get this thing open and see how cool he is.
Hey, open, damn it, open!
Now to get Broadway out of the box, you just simply cut the piece of tape right there, and we'll just go ahead and pull this out. And we see we have this nice skyline for a backdrop, and we see we have a piece of plastic all the way around. So here we see we have some tape up here at the top. Let's get that and cut it off, and then down at the bottom we have some more tape. And we have a couple of tabs here, and we can see here we have Brooklyn and his wings as a cape, which is very cool. Flip this back around, and here we can see we have Brooklyn all ready to come on out. So I will free him from the plastic and we will get this started. Okay, now that we have Broadway out of the box, we can see he does have this nice cloth cape on here, and you can pull it down a little bit more. Now he does have this part right here for his tail, and you just simply take it and plug it in. But before we do that, let's go ahead and undress Broadway a little bit, so we can see he is basically the same figure as before, as would be expected, right? Now he does have the loincloth and the belt. His legs do come up to a nice split because he has these peg hinges here. Nice forward and back motion. Now his knees are a single bend peg, so they can rotate around a little bit, go at least this much back. Now his ankles are on a peg hinge as well, so we get that side-to-side action, forward and back. And he has a little bit of a toe bend. Now, as far as his waist is concerned, he can spin on it. He can do nothing of an ab crunch because of this big old belly, but he does have the ability to spin up there as well. Now, his arms do come out to a nice little bit of a T-pose. He has a bicep swivel, and he has a single bend in the elbow as a peg hinge, but can get pretty good motion out of that. Now he does have the peg hinge for the wrist, so you get the spinning movement and side to side. His head is on a ball peg hinge, so it does go down, up, right, and left. Not a problem. Now let's get him all dressed back up. Just a simple straightening out this coat, taking this wired belt here and then pulling that over, pulling this back down. Now he also does come with a hat. We can see it here. And here are his accessories. You see, he does come with a little bit of food, more food than hands. So this guy does eat. We saw that from the movie. Now his hat is great to fit on his head because it does have these 3 holes for the spikes on the top of his head, and you can just simply put them on using those spikes. And there we go. You'll see it does bend a little bit here for his ears, but it fits on nicely. Now let's go ahead and plug that tail in. Now that we've done the R articulation. and it's just a simple plug and play. There we go. Now his wings that he has little pegs right here that do go on his back, and his back does have holes in the coat, so we can take it, put it over the head, get it around those ears, and get it on his back. And you'll see it is a little bit tricky, so I'm going to go ahead and pull this head off and put them on, because they are a little bit wider than those ears will allow. And we'll just plug this in, straightening out his coat as we go, because this is a really tight fit. So we'll take these and just line them up and plug them in. Now, while we've got this guy's head off, we can straighten the coat a little bit, because I like to have that all straightened out and looking good. A little bit more like it did in the cartoon. Now we can put this head on as well. And I will just place them on top, won't fasten them in. We can see how this one looks on there. Now he can use the hat again because he has those horns on his head. Or we could take this head and put it on, and still the hat will fit. So it just depends on how you want to have his head. Now he does have this hand here, and this hand can be used to hold the sandwich. You see here, these hands can be used to hold the jar. And I think this just pops off. Let me test that theory. Nope. I'm not really being able to pull it off. But it does have a bunch of peppers in there. He has some noodles, some chopsticks, and he has his broth. Very cool that they gave him some food. So yeah, I definitely dig the heads. This one looks a little too goofy for me, so I'll be using this head on him. So just simply push it down and then just take the hat and push it back on. Now you can see the tail came out while I was trying to do these wings. And his tail is on a wire, so you can bend it as you see fit. If you want to bend it that way, or bend it in a way that you can use it to stand up a little bit better, that is up to you. But I think it is definitely cool that they did that. Neca has never let us down on their wonderful, wonderful items they give us. Now, the noodles can fit in that hand, and you can take the hand here and have it pretend to grasp the noodles. That is up to you, or you can do it in this hand. But there is no other hands here except for fisted that you can use that for. So I probably will have him holding the sandwich or something like that, because, you know, he was a hefty guy and he did love to eat in the TV show. So as always, let's get a height measurement out of this guy. Now, being a Broadway from the Disney series, he will be 7 inches tall, which is very nice. Now, he will go with other 7-inch figures, and I just happen to have one of McFarlane's Warhammer figures, you can see this one's a little bit taller because it is made just to be a little bit taller than a normal 7-inch figure. So you can see how they would fit on yourself. I love that Neca does these figures, and they are totally awesome. So remember, as always, to like, subscribe, and keep